What is up, ladies and gentlemen, Ghost here, and today we've got a few things to cover. Firstly, we'll talk a little bit about the Hazard Zone trailer. I'm sure most of you have seen that by now, how we're going to differentiate between friendlies and enemies, the hottest topic currently in the Battlefield community, it would seem. And then we'll take a look at one of the new weapons spotted in the trailer, the AC-42 assault rifle, and following that we'll touch briefly on the 5 currently unannounced specialists. I've also got some new details on them, as well as the first new map. So that'll be the 8th map in Battlefield 2042 that we'll be seeing in the first season of the live service. Before we jump in, be sure to pop by our live stream sometime over at twitch.tv/ghostgaminggg. I stream a few times a week, and with the release of 2042, I'll be bumping that up by quite a lot. I always love chatting to you guys and playing a few rounds of Battlefield with you, and you guys coming by and watching is one of the best ways that you can support the channel. If you're interested in improving your play and learning how to use the vehicles in Battlefield, perhaps consider dropping a sub, because I will be doing just that once Battlefield 2042 releases. So to begin with, let's talk specialists. I'm sure I wasn't the only one who noticed in the Hazard Zone trailer that the squad of specialists that gets taken down in this shot here have these red markings or indicators all over them. Now, they could just be specialist skins, and perhaps they all wanted to keep in style with one another. But if we look at some of the art assets that DICE released in their blog post, in many of these images you have a very obvious attempt to paint these players as the blue team. And overall, these outfits they're wearing look much more like how I would expect regular classes in Battlefield to look. These don't seem to be player-chosen skins. Now, the blue colour could represent friendlies, meaning that all enemy squads are red to you, or this could simply represent the blue squad, and then perhaps there's a red squad, a green squad, and a yellow squad, etc., just so you can tell which enemy squad is which. Whatever the case, it really does look like DICE is trying to help us identify targets with this colour marking scheme, and I wonder if that's going to make it into the all-out warfare mode. From the beta feedback I've seen, that looks to be the number one complaint, simply that players couldn't distinguish enemies from friendlies. EA also sent out a survey to some players asking for their feedback on the beta. I didn't receive the survey myself, but I believe that there was a strong emphasis placed on whether or not we prefer specialists in the game, or we would instead like the traditional class system. So it'll be interesting to see if DICE and EA actually act upon that feedback or not. Moving on, Temporal has been hard at work mining away on the beta build, and he's discovered the new map that'll probably be part of Season 1. So the map is called Ridge, and it's set in British Columbia in Canada, where a landslide has exposed a secret research facility which the Russians suspect hides a military weapon inside. So here are the full descriptions for both factions. So for the US, it says seismic activity in British Columbia has damaged a Canadian US research facility base. A landslide has exposed the interior and damaged the surrounding area. The Russians wrongly allege that this has revealed a military weapon and are deploying forces onto Canadian soil to secure it. Not on my watch, let's send Ivan home. And for the Russians, it reads, a landslide in the Canadian Rockies granted us a view inside the Black Ridge facility. And what we see is a direct threat, a weapon that cannot be allowed to continue to operate. Today's mission is urgent. You will travel to the base along with our allies, then secure all sectors on site. We will set things right. Your transport is waiting. Honestly, this map sounds super cool. I'm imagining there being a pretty big landslide levolution event similar to the tornado. After all, natural disasters are sort of the theme of 2042, right? Now, quickly going back to the Hazard Zone trailer for a second, a lot of people also spotted this weapon that Boris is carrying, and Temporal seems to think this is the AC-42 assault rifle, a next generation Russian AR that utilizes the bullpup design for a compact frame without sacrificing the barrel length and accuracy. And finally today, let's talk about the 5 unannounced specialists. So we know the game will release with 10 in total. 4 of those we got to play in the beta, of course, and another one of them is Irish. He wasn't playable, but he has been announced. The other 5, however, are still under wraps for the most part, except for what Temporal has discovered. So first off, we have Sundance. Fearless, impetuous and sharp, Emma Sundance Rosier is an assault specialist with a dark past in organised crime. Born in Paris, orphaned at the age of 10 and learned to literally fight to survive. She became a valued enforcer in Les Milieux until she broke up a human smuggling operation. Sundance joined the military as a place to hide. Reckless, impulsive, believes in fighting for those who have nothing, but looking out for number one comes first. So her trait is the CW2A wingsuit, and her specialty are various smart explosives. She also has an EMP field that disrupts enemies, and she has an anti-armor perk, most likely to protect her against vehicles. Next we have Dozer. Imposing, enthusiastic and kind, Santiago Dozer Espinosa is an assault specialist and a master gunsmith. He's an ex-US military and a former dreamer. He was deported and settled in El Salvador and had a family. There he became a successful gunsmith. After relocating his family, Dozer joined the NOPAT to escape the rising violence resulting from governments collapsing. He believes in the cause and will bring everything he's got to the task force. So Dozer's trait is blast resistance, which reduces explosive damage effects, and his specialist gadget is, of course, the aptly named SOB-8 ballistic shield. And Temporal also included an in-game challenge here that he found to perform 7 kills in one life with the shield. So yes, you can kill people with it. 7 kills in one life though, that sounds pretty difficult honestly. Moving on, we have Rao. Confident, fun and cool under pressure, Navin Rao is the task force's tech specialist. Born and raised in Mumbai, he was sickly as a teenager. While bedridden, Rao fell in love with a hacker community where he learned coding, friendship and teamwork. At 21, he joined the Indian Armed Forces and eventually was selected for the elite Marcos. He joined the NOPATs after being blamed for a refugee op that went south. He's curious and inventive. So Rao's trait is a cyber warfare suit that he wears, and his Trojan network allows him to spot enemies adjacent to his kills. So I guess you get a kill and then any enemies that are close by, I'm not really sure how much range adjacent means, those guys will also be spotted for you. However, his gadget, the hacking device that he has, is still a bit of a mystery and simply described in the in-game files as disables enemy hardware, so not a massive clue as to what that does yet. Continuing, we've got Angel. Troubleshooter, carefree and resourceful, eccentric inventor, Constantine Angel Angel sees the possibility of adventure at every turn. Born in Ploiesti, Romania, Angel grew up tinkering on the vehicles in his father's auto repair shop and earned his celestial nickname after taking one of his souped-up inventions for a near-fatal test drive. It's this type of out-of-the-box thinking that serves him well as a NOPAT, as no matter the crisis he faces, he'll find a solution. So he can call in a special loadout crate to resupply other soldiers with ammo and armor. You guys remember that armor gadget in the beta where you got the 2 armor plates? Well, I guess that's where this guy comes in. He can resupply it for you. He can also revive any soldier, and those he revives gain armor as well. And finally, we have Ji-Soo-Paik. Driven and cunning, Ji-Soo-Paik is a Korean member of Rocksoft, specializing in intelligence and infiltration. She was born in Gwangju, South Korea, where she rose to be an Olympic speed skater before being conscripted. Recently, on a covert mission gone wrong, Paik escaped capture by boarding the ship. However, even as a member of the task force, she's gathering intel on NOPAT movements. She is committed 100% to whatever she does in the moment and looks to gain advantage. So for her trait, we have Acquisition, which automatically spots those who damage you, and then her gadget is called the EMG-X scanner, which is those goggles she's got on her head there, and this highlights hostiles concealed behind cover. I have to say, that kind of sounds like wall hacks, but let's wait and see how it actually plays out in reality. So there you have it guys, those are the 5 new specialists. Now DICE have announced that we will hear more about these specialists next week, so it definitely sounds like they're ramping up the flow of information as we get closer to the release, which is a very good thing. They also said they would give us some sort of a response to some of the biggest issues that we had as a community with the beta, so I'm guessing they'll have to address the specialist elephant in the room but I will definitely keep you guys filled in with that. Thank you all for watching the video. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more Battlefield, and I'll see you in the next video.